Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Markets Talk Show. This is your host, Rian Opson, and we're doing actually today the tapering conversation that's actually carried that is being battling the market for, I think, I would say for today because there's absolutely no direction in the market. The euro, the dollar, the gold was actually at some stage yesterday at 1800. Now it reverts back to 1790. So the market is doing absolutely nothing, but I think there might be a surprise in the US dollar, maybe later today, or I would say tomorrow, because I think the Federal Reserve already started with the whole tapering process. And I will explain that after the break.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves. And track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Welcome back to Bull Markets Talk Show. This is your host, Rian Opson, and we're doing actually the whole tapering conversation. And I will have someone later tonight to also go through this whole entire tapering story, and he will also express his views. Please drop your comments, like the content, and also please subscribe to my YouTube page. And please, there's a link below on markets.com. Click on the link, register account, and please register for the free account, which will free trading classes, which will start basically on the 4th of September. Now, let's get on with the show today. I actually said some stuff for you, basically on this whole thing that I basically think that the Federal Reserve already started with their whole tapering process, and that's why I expect maybe some volatility later today in the US session. Maybe tomorrow the US dollar can actually go up. Now, here they say the US Federal Reserve repo volumes hit a record of 1 trillion as debt ceilings looms. Now, the volumes of the Federal Reserve reverse repurchase facility topped 1 trillion on Friday for the first time as investors and financial institutions continue to pour cash into the overnight window. Now, let me explain that to you. I was myself a bit confused with this whole thing. Now, they say a reverse purchase facility. Now, we all know about QE. The Federal Reserve is printing money, give it to the banks. The Federal Reserve is currently printing about or pumping money in the economy of about 120 billion US dollars a month. Now, they are actually buying government bonds and also throw money at the banks at 120 billion US dollars per month. Now, that is your normal QE purchase. Now, what the hell is reverse purchase facility? That was the whole confusion that I got. Now, one thing obviously went to a bit of Google and need to obviously understand what is going on. A reverse repurchase agreement is a transaction in which the New York Fed, that is now just the New York Fed, under the authorization and direction of the Federal Open Market Committee, sell a security to an eligible counterparty with an agreement to repurchase that same security at a specific price at a specific time. Now, I know that definition sounds also a bit gibberish, I would say. In simple terms, basically, is that the Federal Reserve printed so much money of 120 billion US dollars per month, give the money to the government, give the money to the banks. What they do now is literally buying back, or basically what they're doing is buying back that money and put it at the Reserve Bank. So they borrowed money and now they're asking it back. And the banks are basically saving the money at the Reserve Bank because they printed so much money that they need actually to take the money back into the Reserve Bank. And that is what they mean by this reverse repurchase agreement. So basically, in silent terms, the Federal Reserve already started to engage in tapering by this term, what they use, reverse repurchase agreement. So the Federal Reserve realized that it was literally printing so much money now that they need to actually get the money back. So they already did it. So now they need actually to confirm it to the market on Friday to say, listen here, we're going to start tapering with, I don't know with what amount and with the speed of it. So that is what the market is basically waiting on, is that what will the Federal Reserve do? Because honestly, they printed way too much money, 120 billion US dollars per month pumping in the economy, give the government money and also the banks. That's way too much. These guys are flooded with money and they don't know what to do with it. That's why the money is going back to the Federal Reserve. So the banks are well oiled up. So I don't understand why he doesn't start with the tapering in September. Obviously, we'll set the time frames for it, but we can expect definitely that the Federal Reserve is basically going to taper. Well, that is my thoughts. I think they're going to start to taper because of this funny thing that they do, which is the reverse purchases agreement. Now, what will that do to the market? Now, that is the big question. Now, when the Federal Reserve starts to taper, as I did with previous podcasts, I explained what happened. One, it can cause a taper tantrum, which happened in 2013, 2014, where the dollar started to surge up, gold prices were down, oil prices collapsed. The NASDAQ, Dow Jones, all asset classes basically sink. Now, that is what happened during the 2013, 2014 taper tantrum. The thing is, I think personally the market will go into a correction because obviously the Federal Reserve need to take money out of the table, actually. So the market will correct, but I don't think it will be hit severely. Like, for example, if I need to share my trading account with you, I don't think it will be a severe correction. If I need to go to the gold price, for example, the gold price, this is a 1-week chart. I'm actually just going to put a 1-day chart on. The gold price is sitting between the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, just sitting there the whole entire time. I think maybe the correction will come for the gold, maybe push it down to 1750 or maybe lower. I personally think also where I look at where's the indexes, if I look at the US tech, although the NASDAQ was hitting actually highs yesterday. I was actually drawing something earlier. Possibly it will go maybe to 1470, maybe just here sitting on the 50-day EMA, and then maybe it can go to the 200-day EMA at 1350. That is a bit far, around the 13,000 level. That is now on the NASDAQ. But I think that is a bit overreach. I think maybe it will just go to maybe to the 1470 level, 14,700 level. I think maybe it will go there. But I think personally we will see a correction because there's way too much money in the system, and I think the Federal Reserve is starting to take it off, and I think they must do it as urgent as soon as possible. If we look at the Dow Jones, for example, I think also the Dow maybe also up for a 10% correction, maybe to around I would say maybe this level is a bit far, but maybe 33,000 level, that is a possibility where it can go. Once it breaks this 50-day moving average, then obviously we can look at next stops where the Dow Jones will go. But I think definitely when it comes to your commodities, which move the Dow Jones, I think the commodities will sink first because the Federal Reserve will start to taper, and that will maybe send bit rates up. And I think market will start to say, hey, things are coming. I don't think the Federal Reserve had much of a choice but to do it because also there is an infrastructure plan that is going also in the United States, and that is about 3 trillion, approximately 3 trillion US dollars. So it's a lot of stimulus that goes into the economy, and I think the Federal Reserve needs to take his foot off the accelerator. On the US dollar, let me just go to the dollar index. I think I also drew something here. No, I did not. The dollar index is sitting nicely at $93. Look, I'm in favor of the US dollar because of what I expect with the tapering story. 93 is sitting on all currencies, all major currencies. So that's a dollar index is sitting on 93. I think there's a possibility the dollar can move up with this whole tapering conversation on Friday, and I think the possibility could be that it can maybe go until this level 94.51. That is a possibility, and that is where it will increase against all major currencies. That is now depending on how fast the Federal Reserve will react with this whole tapering conversation. For today, I think the market will be very mediocre. It's been sitting like this for the last, since yesterday, the US session, and actually for today. I'm just waiting for the dollar actually to get a bit of steam. If I'm correct, then maybe I will go in with the trade. But for today, it will be that where it just sits the whole entire time, dead still, not doing anything at all. I think that is what I expect, because the London session was really boring. But for tonight, I will definitely get someone special on tonight. That is basically at 9 o'clock tonight. I will get someone also that talk about the tapering conversation, and I will actually have some big questions for him as well. Thanks a lot, Tyrant Scholes. Great value for all retail traders. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. So tonight I will have actually the conversation with someone. I will actually alert you on that, but please do subscribe to my YouTube page. Click on the link below, get your free classes, which will start on the 4th of September, and just fund your account with $250, and then we are good to go. So that is it from my side. See you guys later at 9 o'clock. Don't forget, with some more information regarding this whole big debate, which is actually Jackson Hole and the tapering conversation with Jerome Powell. That is it from my side. See you guys not tomorrow, later at 9.